All right, so here we are, Well Talk. We are in season 3. I got my boy Zain on here, so super excited to have him join in. Zain, we've known each other now for about 2 years.
Yes, sir.
You,
Good 2 years.
yeah, you were my intern, also in one of my psychology classes as well. So, dude, thanks for taking time to come on here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. We just had a lot of good times, and we've been talking about this for a while. So it's cool. Fresh out of school. So that's cool.
Yeah, definitely. So, I know you're super busy. You have a lot of stuff going on right now with transitioning. You are going to be going to where? Where are you going to school? Where are you moving to?
I'm going to the University of Santo Tomas in the Philippines to play basketball and major in sports management.
Okay. That's what's up, dude. And where are you from originally?
I'm from Mississauga, Ontario, but came out to Cali for ball. But Mississauga's always home,
Yeah.
and I usually just tell people Toronto, but we're on the pod. They can search it up.
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, most of the stuff that you've been doing is sports related. Do you have anything specific that you're excited about going into, college? And I know you played here for at Maranatha. You played for 2 years.
Mhm.
What are you looking forward to, man?
Honestly, next year, well, let's just say, let's talk more closer. I'm looking forward to our Korea trip. We're going to Korea from
Oh,
July 3rd. I think we're going to be there for 2 weeks. We're going to play 5 pro teams and 5 of the college teams.
okay.
It's going to be a really good gauge to see where I'm at and, just see different levels of competition from all over the world. Like, I'm used to doing that, but, and like more like bigger, bigger goals, I'm looking forward to just my year. I feel like I'm a rookie of the year candidate, and as long as I play up to how I can and just have fun with it, I think I can get it. I just
Yeah,
want to also win a lot, of course.
definitely, definitely. What position are you gonna play over there?
I'm gonna play like a power forward most of the time, small
Okay,
forward, power forward.
okay.
Sometimes got to play big depending on like the foul situation, but
Yeah,
I could be out there a lot.
yeah, definitely. Well, curious too. Did you played power forward here, right? They mixed
Yeah,
you out a
power
little
forward
bit.
center. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't really a true center though. It was more of just a free flowing offense.
Uh-huh.
A lot of outside touches, just like different scoring options. But I always guarded the biggest guy just because I was the biggest guy.
Yeah,
Or I'd be Owen sometimes.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I think one thing I wanted to highlight too about you is that you do well both on the court and in the classroom. And so you really do kind of have this like student athlete locked
That's,
in. You know what I mean? What
yeah.
is it that you do to help yourself focus in with both?
Honestly, I'm not the best at time management, and like I'm not gonna sit here and lie and say, oh, I'm on top of it all the time. But I just always I have this certain rhythm that I get into when I need to, and I end up putting in the work, finishing what I need to do, and like look like thanks to God and like just some perseverance, I was able to graduate with high honors, even through
Yeah.
like all the
Congrats.
sports stuff
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, I always find a way to get it done no matter what, whether I have a lot of time or a little time. I always look at it like, this will be over soon. I just gotta get it out of the way, but not in a way that I'm gonna go like half on it and like not really try as hard. I'm
Yeah.
gonna always just give it my best effort, and usually it's been worked out for me.
For sure. And that really I think is important because I talk to people a lot about that as well. And I think I've told you this too. Sometimes we have to find what's going to motivate us in the moment to help us spark that motivation because we don't always feel like doing stuff, right?
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah. My biggest thing when I'm not motivated is that I always look at it like it'll be over soon.
hmm,
So like might as well just do as best as I can. Like I always think like, oh, in a month, like I won't even remember this, or like in a week, I won't remember this. I'll be on to something new. So
yeah,
I just kind of look forward to that, and it kind of inspires me to just work on the work that I have in front of me.
for sure. I do that too. So I think at every level of life, people when you can learn how to do that, it'll help you just not only get through the tough times, but find the motivation. Because it's kind of like when you do stuff that's discomforting, or when you're working out,
Yeah.
pushing yourself, right? Same thing.
It makes you kind of realize like, oh, this isn't that deep. Like I just gotta do it. Obviously it's different for some people. Motivation comes in many shapes and forms, but for me, I just kind of see it like, oh, you know what, this is the thing I have to do, and do it.
Yeah, I got you. And I've seen you do that as well as a student, but also on the court. And I'm excited for you, man, which leads me to say too, like congrats for finishing up and graduating with you. Did you say high honors?
Yeah, high honors.
Yeah, that's a huge accomplishment, as well as going into where you're going to play ball. I feel like there's so many different things that you have that you could be excited about right now. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. One thing with all that excitement is staying level headed, staying humble also, and just like keep working on my game because I could just stop playing and then go in there and flub it up and then they send me home. But
Yeah.
like, you gotta put in the work always. And like as much as I look forward to the work, I also don't like I know that like I understand the importance of rest and like rehabilitation, and
Mhm.
I feel like I found a good balance of work and personal wealth and stuff like that. So I'm just looking forward to seeing how the first year goes. And I'm lucky just because some of my best friends are going out there, but
Oh, cool.
I don't for a lot of people it was hard. Like one of my friends from Valley, his name's
Uh-huh.
Jacob. He
Uh-huh.
was hooping there this year. He torched us both games, but we got the best of them twice. And then my boy Jaden from Las Vegas, he's gonna be over there too. So as much as like a lot of guys go through like trials and tribulations because they can't fit in and find groups, like that's what I've heard from some of the players there, just talking to the other freshmen who are gonna be sophomores next year. It was
Mhm.
about fitting in and finding a group. I'm kind of lucky to have my group, and I just hope that it keeps me away from the homesickness and the just things like that as much as possible. Because I know it's gonna happen. It's just how hard it hits. So
For sure. That makes sense. I'm curious too, is Jaden, which Jaden?
his name's Jaden Jones. He's from Las
Okay.
Vegas.
Different Jaden. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. From
Um,
Las.
Las Vegas. Okay, that's cool, man. Well, I think a lot of that comes along with the territory of, yeah, you go to a new spot, you're gonna be in another country, but
Yeah,
you're used to that too though, because you did that over
yeah,
here.
yeah,
And then going into new, like, facilities, new school, new vibes. But I think you're prepared for that. And yeah, the transition will be something that we all do in college in one way or another, but it's cool to know you have some people that you're familiar with as well.
yeah. It's a blessing, and it also with the national team too. When I played, like I know some of the locals. Um, I have some people out there I can consider big brothers, little brothers. And just looking forward to big things. My agent told me that there's some brands looking at me, so it's just
Okay.
about going in there and playing, and hopefully they pick me up. You see what happens. But like I said, like on all my other interviews about college ball with like the Philippine sources, it's all just about winning that first year, and everything I think that should follow will follow.
Yeah. I actually saw one of your news interviews. You posted it like yesterday, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah.
collabed. It was with ABS CBN, and
Yeah.
I was just at this All-Star game on the East Coast. It's called the Amazing All-Star Showcase, where they just handpicked the best Asians from the East Coast and the West Coast. The West Coast one was stacked. They had got like three guys from the ESPN Top 100. Ours wasn't as stacked, but
Uh,
I'll be honest, it was still a great time, just running the camp for the youth. It was crazy because we had graduation, and
yeah.
then I hopped on the red eye, slept through the whole red eye, and then I was in the gym 2 hours later.
That's that life though, right? It's the grind,
Yeah,
it's the grinding. And I think that's so cool too to have that and those opportunities as well. Yeah, I watched it and I was like, that's Zayn. And actually, Mrs. Fernandez, she's all on the other side. She's like, is that Zayn? I was like, yeah, Zayn's on on the news. Yeah,
yeah,
that's cool, man.
yeah. It was funny just because I was with some of my friends last night. They're telling me, yeah, I just had my TV on because they have the Filipino emulators where they have all the channels, right?
Oh,
And
okay.
that's how they do it out here. The Filipinos, they have their boxes where they can watch all the channels. And he says he just has it on and he sees my face, so that was kind of cool to hear.
Yeah. That's cool, and I think I want to kind of highlight too what you said about even brands looking at you and looking into you, and just all the things that are going on. First of all, you also said something that really resonated with me, and you said it's about staying level-headed and being
Mhm.
being humble in the process. I think that's what's going to continue to separate you from a lot of other people, and it has for a while now. You're wise beyond your years. You have wisdom, and you also have a level head where you're able to balance out. And this is what I talk about a lot. You're emotionally regulated. Like you can have those moments where sometimes we get mad, sometimes we get pissed off, and like that happens. Frustrating things come up, but in other words, you're consistent in your personality and your approach, and
Mhm.
that's something that I think is going to continue to set you apart from a lot of other athletes out there too.
Yeah, I just feel like in terms of like, you can only control so much in the game. So that's what I take away from that. I've
Yeah.
always got like the label like, oh, he's a gentle giant, oh, he's just a big teddy bear. Like I've always heard that. But the first initial reaction to me is like, yo, who is this guy? Like he looks older than us, like especially when coming into Maranatha. Jake Neely, one of my good friends now, he told me he saw me going into the what do they have at the start of the year? What is it called again for the
Uprising?
freshmen? Yeah, at the uprising games,
Uprising?
he saw me go into the like one of the groups with the students, and he was like, "Yo, someone get the teacher with the other students." And I was like, "No." They're like, "No, he's just a student. He's a junior."
Yeah.
And then he was like, his jaw dropped. That was crazy to him. And then it's like, I'm just lucky I got to get close with the class this year, and they got to know who I really am because like deep down, like in terms of like basketball and like things becoming deep and angry, like bro, it's just a game, it's for fun.
Yeah.
And as much you want to have your emotion in it, so it drives you, but at the same time you can't be too high, you can't be too low. You see what happens. That's how guys will score 20 in a quarter and then they won't score for the rest of the game just because they're like, oh, I'm about to go for 50 now. It's like
Yeah.
it's not how it works. The game keeps moving.
That's
And
true.
in terms of just like getting close with the guys, like with the group of Maranatha and the class. I'm just glad that they got to like really know me for who I was, and like I'm not just some like intimidating basketball player from Canada.
Yeah. Dude, definitely. Cause I mean, I even reflect back on when you first walked into my psychology class, and I was like, this guy has to play basketball. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
like that was
yeah,
my first thing, my first thoughts. But I think you saying all that is so cool because you were able to get to have that community here, as well as make some quality friends moving forward.
Mhm.
And you thrived here as well. I also think on the court is a place where we've talked about this too. Like you understand how to follow where your rationale is like, okay, I'm thinking clearly, I'm not going to allow my emotions to bring out the worst in me in these times.
Yeah.
And that's something that is important too. And I actually want to get your insights from that, where when you're in, and because I talk about this a lot too, where performing under pressure, and you got
Mhm.
moments where games are on the line, or you're trying to perform, you're trying to do well.
Yeah.
What do you do to keep yourself focused in the moment and not get too caught up with the emotions?
Yeah, you know what? That's definitely a part of the like that was definitely a huge part of the journey and the growth and growing
Mm,
up because as I was younger, like I was nothing. Like I was just a player, and then I ended up making one of the best teams in North America. We ended up being top three ranked for a
mm,
while. We were smashing teams, and that gets to your head a bit. You're like, yeah, one of the best players, one of the best teams, but I
uh-huh.
wasn't too out with it. But I would say my sophomore year, I really struggled just because of it was a COVID year, and I was living in a team house with 10 other guys, and a lot of testosterone, a lot of barking. So I
Mm,
feel like that was a year that really took me out of who I was because it was like I felt like I had something to prove, even
mhm.
though there's no games going on, no one's getting offered, there was nothing on the line, but it's just almost like a man thing, and
Yeah.
and so I just feel like staying level headed and then even my like first year at Maranatha was very tough. Coach Tuck is a great coach, but it takes a lot to play for him.
Mm,
But I think he can get you where you have to. It's just that not everybody can play for him. And for a while, I was questioning if I could, and I ended up having a pretty decent senior year. Got up to some D2 looks, but I
yeah.
just felt like going to the Philippines was the right move. And with just the spotlight, I feel like the biggest thing that helped me with the spotlight was my experience with the Filipino national team because
Yeah.
I remember, you don't think much of it when you're in it, but looking back at it, that was an amazing opportunity. There's only a few hundred people in history that can say, yeah, I played for that team. Like I played
For
for a
sure.
national team.
Yeah.
And I think it really hit for me when we were in Qatar for our first game and we played Kuwait. And
Mm.
they made the game free for overseas for OFW. So I think that means like overseas work, like Philippines workers, overseas
Uh-huh.
Filipino workers. And it was just the gym was full of Filipinos, and we're in Qatar, right? But I mean, like the gym is full to the brim. They're screaming. I'm getting goosebumps just retelling it now. They play the
Mm,
national anthem. I'm just trying not to cry because even
mm.
as much as like the game was, we were supposed to win that game.
Yeah.
It's just like the pressure of, oh my gosh, all these people are here. I'm really in a different country playing right now,
Yeah.
and then also just being on being honestly being in the spotlight in the Filipino basketball community has made it easier to be in the spotlight because I'm
Mm,
more used to it.
yeah.
And it's a different it's a different trip for everybody, but like our finals game was watched by 5,000 people, in the like that just passed, and then the one before that was watched by maybe 8,000, 9,000 people because I was playing on a more famous team. But
Okay.
it's just that being in front of those huge crowds either makes or breaks you, and it just depends on what kind of player you are. And for
True.
me, I feel like I'm someone who doesn't really see it, but I'll use it the right way. So you'll see a clip of me screaming after an and one. I'm hyped. I'm
Yeah.
hyped. But next possession is defense, rebounding,
Yep.
stopping the guy. It's just always about just playing the game because it's just a game. It's you and 9 other people on the court and two refs, three refs.
Yeah.
So I'll say, yeah, the biggest part is just experience and seeking out those big opportunities where
Mm,
they might make or break you, but at the
yeah.
same time, usually when you fall, you can get up
Yep.
and you'll learn something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. And we've talked about that too, where it's like, hey, you make a mistake or you mess up, if you for whatever reason struggle and you shoot, 2 for 10, whatever it is, if you miss the free throw, you can always come back, right? You regroup, you figure out, all right, what is it that I can do to better myself? And it's that mentality going forward. But all of that I think is important too because it's what you've experienced has set you up for where you're going to now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
You got to get knocked down a couple times. You
yeah,
have to.
and I think even the the lights and the publicity and stuff that you've experienced from playing for the Filipino national team and stuff is important because it's helped you get ready for this experience and the next level and keeping and going forward.
Mm-hmm. I mean, with this, honestly, this is a whole other level because I've seen how my school gets. It's like attending a high major D1. There's like 40,000 people.
Okay.
Campus is old, but it's old, but it's like old architecture. So big buildings,
Yeah.
you know, nice lecture halls, and it's just that like the community will be out there for the game, and especially now we're supposed to have a great season this season. We got to deliver. So I was just looking at some of the chants. You look around, you see a sea of yellow. Everybody's chanting. I think that'll definitely be another trial to overcome. But at the end of the day, like I just said, it's a game.
Yeah.
You and 9 other people on the court. You got to block it out, figure it out.
For sure. I think the other thing I was gonna say too is all of the new learning that you'll be doing too, just in college, getting, it's that next chapter of life and experiencing the culture out there, getting to experience the basketball life over there too and everything. And one thing I want to ask as well is when it comes to the sport and when it comes to basketball, what is your passion? What are you passionate about? Is it everything? Is it just the lifestyle? What is it?
Honestly, that's a good question, and like it has a long answer too. But it's just that
That's okay.
basketball was just a game I started playing, and even after my when I was at eighth grade graduation, I just never felt the desire to attend a normal high school, where my friends are going because I just kind of I know where I'm at, and where I'm at, it's very comfortable in the way that you get comfortable and like you're okay with what's going on, you're okay with your job, living with your parents, things like that. A lot of like my friends are great, but a lot of them are stuck, and a
Mhm.
lot of them are also making strides. But some of them, you ask them what they're gonna do tomorrow. Oh, I don't know. You ask them what they're gonna do next. I don't know. I don't know. And it's
Mhm.
just I just felt the need to get out, and I guess it was through basketball.
Mhm.
And like I'm not saying I'm from. This isn't some Compton story or like some like story where a kid makes it out the hood and he puts on for a city. It's not like that.
Uh-huh.
I live in a great community. It's just that it's very comfy and it's just not something I desire. So I went into school grade 9, 10 for basketball, and I never knew why I was there. I
Mhm.
was just there, but I just had this desire, to keep training, keep working. And I think that desire came from the passion I never knew I had. So even now, like I just love the game. I don't it's weird because I don't watch it as much as I enjoy playing it. Playing it
Okay.
will take me out of any slump I'm in, whether I'm sad, mad, angry, upset.
Mm.
All I got to do is like I need a ball in the court in an hour or two with some music, and it'll take me back out of it. And I just don't see a career path for me now
Mhm.
where the game isn't involved. And God willing, I get to play the game for many, many years. But I also know that if it goes south, I'll be okay.
Mm.
And I'm very comfortable that way that I know with like who I am, I'll be able to find a way to make ends meet, find a good job, be able to provide for my family. But right now I want to play basketball and like that's the only thing I see in the future.
That's real. Yeah. And couple of things there. One of them with the just saying you could go and get a basketball court and listen to some music and like whatever slump or emotional status or state you're in, it helps. And that's I think one of the coolest things is you also use it as a coping strategy as well. That's like
Mhm.
your space. That's your space where you go to. And
Yeah,
the way you've described it is it's like there's nothing that can really mess up that space for you, you know,
yeah,
as well, which also shows maturity. But then you even said like, hey, yeah, if things go south and certain things don't work out, like you'll still be able to do something and be productive. And that's where I come up and talk about the mind stance principle of being able to pivot. You can adjust and
Mhm.
adapt. It's not sticking to one specific thing where
Mhm.
it's like you're subjective in it, you know?
Absolutely. So it's almost like a tunnel vision, not having a tunnel vision, having the wider view.
Exactly.
Having the wi- Having the wider view is actually what made me end up in the Philippines, because as
Mm,
a young basketball player, especially from Canada, they think it's D1 or bust.
okay.
And while that is not a bad mantra, just go hard, work hard. The real of it is it's hard right now with the portal and the
Yeah.
the way guys are talented. It's
Mm,
very difficult to get a Division 1 offer.
hmm.
But playing here in Canada isn't a bad thing at all. And I just thought of youth sport because we call it youth sport, university sports out here. I
Uh,
just thought it's not something I could see myself doing. But I think if I went back to my freshman year and I could tell myself one thing, I'll just tell myself don't force it. Let
mm,
it come to you.
hmm.
And I feel like for a while I was trying to force it, but going into my junior and senior year at Maranatha, I feel like that's when I really just started like letting it happen. As
Yeah.
as much as like you influence what happens, but it's not always gonna go your way. So you gotta pivot, like you said,
Yeah.
and find the next best route.
Yeah. For sure. Because and that's it right there. Because if you get stuck in that one thing way of thinking, the linear way, and you said like the tunnel vision, and
Mhm.
something happens or things don't go the way you plan, then you go,
You,
oh, what do I do?
yeah, what do I do? And
Yeah.
then God knows for how long you're in what can I do? You know, maybe you're in what can I do for the rest of your life. But I
Mm,
hope that like, you know, the people listening to this know that like you will always be able to pivot, you know?
for
There's
sure.
always something else.
Yep. That's what's up. That's why that's why I like telling people that. And I think you already had that mentality coming into this and you've already grown. And it's cool to see you grow so much within just the last 2 years. So I'm excited to see how much more you grow in another 2 years and continue on.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But I'm all about living in the moment. And you know, I just thought of something too, how we were talking about staying level.
Yeah.
Um, I just want to go back on that and say like absolutely go cry, go scream, you know, be
Yeah.
upset,
Yeah.
feel that, but then also be happy, enjoy things and have a great time. But it's just
Definitely.
that at the end of the day, life you got to keep it here. You can
Mhm.
have the here and the here, but you know, you just want to stay level so that you're not over expecting or under expecting and you're just kind of going. I feel like life goes best when you're just kind of going, you know,
Mhm.
and just not trying to be too in control, but also not just letting nothing happen.
Exactly. It's balance, man.
Balance,
Hey,
pivoting.
finding that balance and pivoting. You're out here speaking facts. So,
Oh,
yeah.
I had a good. I interned for this psychologist. He was pretty good.
No, I appreciate that, man. So, I think a couple of things as well, just moving forward, definitely going to have to ship out some worthwhile stuff for you.
For sure.
You have that coming. So once you get settled in, let me have that address of where you want it shipped.
Overseas shipping.
Yep, which is going
Okay.
to be a little bit expensive there, but it's all good.
And I'll be back. We'll go get dinner. Don't worry. I got you. I'll
For
meet you.
sure. Yeah, and anything else too that comes to mind that like even in all this, I mean, I'm super proud of you, man. I think just
Thank you.
what you're gonna do and accomplish is awesome, and it's been really cool seeing you just develop and thrive through all this. But anything else you want to share, like something that comes to mind too?
Um, it's all about your journey, and I feel like you can't get too lost in the highs and lows of your journey more
Yeah,
than you have to take what you get from it.
yeah,
Because you know, there's obviously the depressing days where you know you think you can be in a slump forever,
right.
but then there's also the high weeks where you're like nothing can stop me. I'm on top of the world, and you just have to take pick and choose from that
Hmm.
what you retain and learn because like you got to learn something, you know. And I just feel like I said this on the interview, but if you do what you're supposed to do and you work hard and you really put your all into the thing you want to accomplish,
Hmm.
then what you deserve will come. And it's not what you want. What you deserve will come,
Uh-huh.
and it might not be what you imagined, but this is not what I imagined at all for my basketball career. I didn't think I'd be playing overseas, pretty much semi-pro, and it's just it's just not what I expected at all. It's not an avenue I even knew existed when I picked up a ball in sixth grade. It's just that you just gotta keep going.
For
So
sure.
that's what I gotta say. Just stay level.
Yeah,
You know, pick and choose what you gotta learn from each of your experiences, and what you want will follow.
definitely.
What you deserve will follow.
Yeah, so all of the young athletes out there, even adults out there as well that are listening into this, take those words of advice too. And if you do have any sort of like aspirations to play, on the next level and things like that, you know, go for it. I'm saying that to other people, but I want to say to you, Zane, too. Like, if you have people that want to follow the journey that you're on right now, what's the Instagram?
The Instagram, Zain Mahmood with three D's at the end.
All right. Yeah.
For
So
sure.
that's the Instagram. You can see his highlights and all the journey that's going to be going on within these next couple of years, which I'm excited to watch and continue watching moving forward. But
Yeah,
again, man, I appreciate you coming on here to
absolutely.
share.
Appreciate you always. We'll do it again for sure in a couple of months.
Definitely. Yeah. This we got to do one like every so often to keep it going
Yeah.
because I want to hear more progress and
Mhm.
updates and stuff too. And we'll obviously be in contact. But yeah, there's definitely a part two coming to this one for sure. But we're just scratching the surface right here. So yeah.
All right.
Appreciate
Well,
you, man. And
always good. Appreciate you.
yeah, thank you. Hey, so anybody that's listening, again, follow Zain on Instagram. Check out his journey. I can vouch for this guy. He's a real dude, and trust me, like whatever you see him doing, he's really doing it. Like he's really about that life. Like he's consistent. So yeah. All right, everyone, that's it for today's episode. But we'll be back next week, so stay tuned. Take care.
There.